Patrick here on the third episode of the Main Street Money Show podcast, and we're continuing our conversation about the first step in the Wealth Steps order of operations, and that is the financial destination decisions. So you're asking, what is that? Short and sweet answer is you do not have to optimize your financial situation. You can continue down the path of doing nothing, and there's nothing wrong with that. You reap what you sow ultimately. And if you sow good time and effort and energy into learning about all these different topics, ultimately you will reap the rewards. And we're talking about financial rewards as well as personal rewards. So there could be a rate of return on making a good decision, wherever it comes to picking out the correct portfolio, the correct type of financial advisor, or the correct type of insurance professional that you need to work with. There's so many different areas that you will reap a financial reward, but you have to go and learn the subject matters. And if you're not willing to learn the subject matters, then ultimately you don't get the rewards. And that's as simply put as possible. It's like, I want to eat a 10-layer cake, but I don't know how to make a 10-layer cake. Well, you got two options. You can go down to the Carly C's or the Publix or the Harris Teeter, the Food Line, and buy a 10-layer cake for $25 or $30. Or you can figure out how to make your own 10-layer cake, and it might be better than Carly C's or all these other grocery store chains. It's up to you. So whenever I sit down with somebody, I ask them, I'm like, okay, well, how optimized do you want to be? And they're like, well, I want the best. I want to be 100% optimized. I want to make sure all of these financial decisions are the best possible for my situation. But the reality is I'm only as good as the information that I receive. If somebody doesn't bring back the documents about their 401k account or about what they're spending or different Social Security statements, I can't help you. And so ultimately, part of my goal is to filter out individuals that want the help and are responsive versus the individuals that say they want the help, but they don't really want the help. And so that's part of the decision-making process. It's a part of the financial destination decisions. If you're in your working years and you have excess funds to invest, ultimately you are probably 7 to 15 years away from being financially independent, where you do not have to go in and work and you're living off your portfolio. So for someone that starts late 20s, they could exit the workforce mid-40s if they put in the work, but they have to be fully optimized. And on the other side of the spectrum, you got the retirees that they want to exit the workforce. Well, what if we can figure out how to get you out of the workforce 3 years sooner than what you originally planned, because we look through all the different options available, whether it's Social Security timing, figuring out how much is in your 401k, are you getting a pension? I mean, there's so many different decisions that you have to figure out on your own. And so that's part of what I've done here, is just put together a system and a process for people to follow. Now, is this all 1,000 areas that are going to be for your situation? No. Some of them are specific to certain individuals. They may not apply to someone that's 40 years old and just received an inheritance for $500,000. Vice versa, it might not be for somebody that's recently gotten divorced and they're going to be receiving Social Security from their ex-spouse. So part of the thing that we have to work through is it's a conversation of, what do you really want? Do you want more time? Do you want to spend more time with your family? Do you want more money in your pocketbook? I tend not to work with a lot of those individuals because I don't value money over time. I don't value money over family. If it came to going on a family vacation or working to pick up an extra couple $1,000s, I'm picking the family vacation. And those are the individuals that I want to work with. So ultimately, whether you do this on your own or work with somebody else, you have to figure out what is the destination that you're headed to. And that's something that only you can decide on your own. You can have somebody like me that comes in and is kind of a sounding board, but ultimately that's what you have to decide. So that is it for this episode, and we'll continue working through these Wealth Steps order of operations in the next episode.